Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Mr. Yurko here, and we're going to be taking a few minutes to talk about multi-view sketching and drawing. So in the past, we've done some sketching and drawing. You've all sketched and drew on lots of things, but in this world of technical sketching and drawing, we're looking at trying to create an image of something that will help another person build that product. So what I have here before us is just a couple of kids' play blocks that I've taped together to make a slightly more complex shape than a basic rectangle. And when I pick these blocks up, I can look at them and rotate them around, and you can see that they have some features to them. I've got a curve, and then we've got some notched out section here where the two pieces come together. We can see the length, the width, and if I were to pick this object up and try to take a single individual picture of it, there's no individual view that I could take that's going to result in this being fully described. So if I really want to explain this to somebody, then I need to give them more than one picture, because you're not going to be able to see the true height and the true width and the true all those things from any one angle. I mean, if I show it at this position where you can see that this is curved and you've got a notch here and you've got different heights, you have no idea how tall this is, you have no idea how wide this is, because you can't get a true measurement on something that's turned sideways. If I put it this way, you can see how wide this is, you can see how tall this is, but you can't tell how deep it is, you can't tell that this is a curved face. All you know is that you've got edges, 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 edges. You know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. If I turn it this way, you can't tell that there's a hollowed out section here. You can't tell how deep it is. You can tell how tall it is. You can tell how wide it is. So in order to completely describe this thing, we're going to need to use multiple views. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and take a look at it and try to figure out which of the views best describes the shape of this object. And I'm going to look at it and think, you know, probably this view. Probably this view is the one, to me, that's most likely going to result in what's best. I don't think there's any view I could put this thing in where I won't have something hiding from us at least part of the time. So this one is going to be the one that has no what's called hidden lines. So let's go ahead and put that there. So we're going to go ahead and sketch this right there in that position, and we're going to start. This first sketch is called our front view, and we're going to put it right here in this lower left section. And I'm going to try to avoid tracing just because I could use this to get some measurements, some basic measurements, but I don't want to trace it because I just don't like the way that looks. But I'm not going to be too concerned about being exactly right, because this is just a sketch. Alright. Alright. And then we got a notch here, a notch here, a notch there. So that's going to be a curve. Let's go away. And we have a line right there. Alright, so there is, we'll darken that in. There is the outline of our front view of this object. And we can see we've only sketched the edges, the visible edges. We're not drawing the back end. We're not making it look 3D. We're not making it look like realistic. We're just making it look like the outline, showing the edges of the object. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw this object. We're going to rotate it so that what it would look like if you were standing here looking down at it right now. So if I'm standing here looking at this object from this point of view, I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to go like this, I'm not gonna twist it any other way. I'm just gonna flip it straight up like that. And this is gonna be the view that we put right here. This view, let's see, we've got a width. It's got the same width as that. Depth. All right, so the side. So it's going to have the same width. We can project those lines up to figure that out. So that's going to be the same width here. This is going to be the same where this corner, this edge right here, where the round meets the flat. That's going to be the same. This is going to be the same location. This is going to be the same location. We're going to need, what we need is our part. We need this different view to get our widths or depths. So let's go ahead and darken that, sketch that out a little bit better. Darken a little bit. Okay, so this yellow portion I can't see, so I'm not going to darken that. This green portion is going to be solid because I can see that. This is going to be solid. I can see that. Anywhere I can see is called an edge, and any edge that I can see is that is visible. That's going to be an object line. There's going to be a dark, heavy line called an object line. So I've got my dark, heavy line. It's there to represent that object, the outline of that object. So there's the outline of the object. I can't tell that this is round when you're looking straight down from above. I know it is because I'm holding it in my hand and I can see when I rotate a little bit. But if you're standing straight above, you're flying over like Superman looking straight down at it, you're definitely not going to be able to tell that's round. You're just going to see the edge here and the edge here. All right. So let's put it back in its original position to figure out what's going to go on over here. And we're going to rotate this. Again, we're going to pretend we're standing right here looking at it. If you're the little smiling person here, you're going to look at it like that. And then we're just going to take this without doing any spinning except to stand up. So if I put my pencil here, I got my eraser in my right hand, I'm going to go like that. So that's the angle it's sitting in. And this is going to be placed right here, aligned with the other one. So just to get started, make it easy, go ahead and project those lines over, project those lines over, project those lines over, because that's where this is going to line up. Okay, so what's that going to look like? So I know that I've got a straight edge here on the right side. So let's go ahead and straight down. Got a width, nice width right there. Okay, and there's a solid, so this yellow block, so I can go ahead and draw this yellow brick right now. The outline of it. And then the green one, right there. So there's my block for the green. So now what you can see is we can see a representation of what this object looks like. From the front, it would look like standing above it, and it would look like standing to the right side. So we have our front, top, and right side. So this is our three-view, multi-view drawing. Those are three positions. We're currently missing anything that was going to let us know where the bottom of this curve is, and some things what are called hidden lines. So a hidden line is something that you know is there, but you can't see it. So if I know the bottom of this gully is here, I come over here, I know that it's there, but I can't see it. So I'm going to represent that as a set of dashes. There we go. And that's it. That's the only hidden oh, and I'm going to have another one because there's this corner where this yellow block goes through. So you see where my pencil passes through. So there's an edge right back here. And that edge is going to be able to be seen or not seen. We know it's there, so I'm going to represent it with a set of dashed lines. So there we have, ladies and gentlemen, a multi-view, three-view sketch of our object. The last thing we do in setting this up is to take, and we're going to produce a construction of these three faces up here using an isometric sketch. So we'll need to do our best to project this block, making it look like this up here. So I'm going to say, just for the sake of conversation, we'll call this 3 by 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we'll make that 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this represents the yellow block. I've actually gone to a slightly smaller scale here to fit in this space. And then if I were to draw the green block on top of it, use the same thing. First, I'm going to go ahead and draw the green block as a rectangular block, ignoring the circle part, just because it's too confusing. So right off the bat, I've got there you have it. There's the bottom, the yellow part. Here's the green part. And just because, so you can see what I've got is it's 1, 2, 3 blocks wide by 1, 2, 3 blocks tall is the number I chose, just because this is a square, just to fit in this space. You could estimate yours to be bigger or smaller, and then so 6 blocks long. And then we do the same with this one, because these are the same length. You can check here, it's the same length, and that's the same width. Now it's time to try to estimate that curve. So we'll come in, just come in 1 block. It's an estimate. We'll draw the top of that curve, and then find the middle of this. So 1, 2, so it's the middle. 1, 2, that's the middle. Go down 1. So project that curve. Back, do the same thing on the other side. And there you have it. That is a multi-view sketch of this object, where I can see 4 views of the object: front, top, right side, and then an isometric view that shows from the front, from the right, and from the top, where those 3 are visible. This is the standard format we're going to use in class to describe real-world objects. Later we'll talk about dimensioning and other things. This is how you get started and be creative and create cool things. So, as always, keep being awesome.